Arlington has won the Super 8 Massachusetts State Championship.
From the Kozlowski Gymnasium here on the campus of Arlington High School, ACMi Sports presents Arlington High School boys varsity basketball. Tonight, the Spy Ponders of Arlington High School host the Red Raiders of Melrose High School. Hello everyone, I'm Don Phelan, my partner is Scott Zwick, and this is the MIAA Division II North first round matchup between the 8th seeded Spy Ponders and the 9th seeded Red Raiders. And before we get to tonight's starting lineup, Scott, a quick analysis on tonight's game.
You know, Don, where would you rather be than right here and right now? Playoff atmosphere, packed gym at the ties, but the one thing that the backdrop of this game, both teams come in struggling, losing 4 of their last 5. Both teams have. This is a true 8-9 matchup. This is not the Arlington team that we've seen the past few years, but that doesn't make them any less dangerous or less fired up for the big game.
Yeah, Arlington faced their toughest stretch of the season at the end of the season, Scott. As you mentioned, they lost 4 out of 5. They had lost 4 in a row, but they were against good teams, Belmont and Reading, and Springfield Catholic, a Reading team that had to win to make the tournament. And then they recovered and won the final game of the tournament at St. Mary's. They beat Pope John, and Pope John's considered a favorite in the Division IV tournament. So a good win for the Ponders in that last game of the season to maybe springboard them here tonight.
The Ponders, they don't back down from a challenge. Coach Bowler has always scheduled tough games late in the season to prepare the team for postseason play. That win should get them in the right frame of mind and have them preparing to be playing their best basketball when it matters most.
Right now you're seeing the starting lineup being introduced for the Spy Ponders. We'll get to the Red Raider lineup in a moment, but for the Spy Ponders, tri-captain number 0, Nick Corrales, number 1, Brendan McNamara, number 14, tri-captain James Gascoigne, Stephen McGilvery, number 23, and tri-captain number 24, Sam Swift. Of course, the head coach of the Spy Ponders is John Bowler, assisted by Jackie Woods, and the head of basketball operations for the Spy Ponders is Tim Schuler. And now we will have the singing of our national anthem by an Arlington High School student.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Starting lineup for the Melrose Red Raiders. Number 3, tri-captain Chris Cosolito. Number 20, tri-captain Jay Tucci. Number 21, Marino Prezoscia. Number 22, Luka Vlakovic. And freshman number 33, Holden Simmons. And Scott, in the first game, Holden Simmons led the way for the Red Raiders, the freshman, with 14 points. So the Spy Ponders going to have to keep an eye on him.
Simmons is a super sensational freshman, the best freshman in the league this year in the Middlesex League. These teams are familiar with each other. They're battle-tested, battle-ready. And I'll tell you, I've been, kind of following the flavor in the social media this week. And this Melrose group, this community is frothing at the mouth.
It'll be Gascoigne and Vlakovic to jump. Tip is controlled by the Red Raiders. Tonight's officials are Scott Almeida, Marmaduke Ba, and Keedy Segal.
Ponders come out in their usual man-to-man. They're going to look to deflect passes and deny one pass away.
Little short jump shot there is no good. Sam Swift with the rebound for the Ponders. First possession for the Red Raiders. They come up empty. Head coach of the Red Raiders in his 12th season is Mike Kasperzak.
Some things to look for the Spy Ponders early. Anytime they're moving the basketball side to side, that means they're dialed in and focused. And you see it right there. The ball is crossed out twice, half, and Gascoigne fires away.
In and out for James, and the rebound by Melrose. These teams played back on December 11th. Arlington won at Melrose, a tight game, 48-46. But importantly, Scott, that Nick Corrales was injured at that time of the season, so he did not play in that game, and I think he could be a difference maker here tonight.
Corrales is a veteran player with playoff experience. Those are the type of players that make the difference in games like this.
McGilvery with the short left-handed hook hits, and he has the first points of the game for the Spy Ponders.
McGilvery, bing, bang, boom, a little baby hook.
2-0 just underway here at the Kozlowski Gymnasium. Tournament action for the Spy Ponders.
Arlington has been the most prolific team as we see Morrissey go in for a deuce. The Spy Ponders have been the most prolific team in this league the last half decade or so, and they've done it with physical play from the start of the game.
McGilvery inside again, couldn't get that short shot to go. Now going all the way to the basket is Jay Tucci, and a blocking foul will be called against Brendan McNamara.
You can see it, you can feel it. This is an intense atmosphere, and it's physical play. These players are not afraid of contact. They're not afraid of each other. And when you get an atmosphere like that with a little bit of tension in the air, that's where the officials have to be on their toes tonight, making sure they are calling contact.
They determined that to be a shooting foul, so Tucci at the line for two. And he hits the first and gives Melrose their first lead here.
Right off the bat, Don, you got to say, if you're Coach Kasperzak, with the history here in this building that you've had and other teams in the Middlesex League have had in general the past 5 years, you like this start. You're in the ball game right now, and the Spy Ponders got to try to exert their force. 1 of 2
for the tri-captain Tucci. Corrales to the hole, finger roll no, gets his own rebound and brings it back out. That was not a shot clock reset. The Spy Ponders are looking at 10 right now on the shot clock. McGilvery, the foul line jump shot is just a bit strong.
The Spy Ponders have struggled in past years against zone defense. That's a tic-tac call there. But this year they've been very effective against zones played against them because they have 2 big men inside, and Gascoigne's an all-class player, all-league player. So, I'm not sure if this is going to be a long-term solution for Melrose, but I expect the Spy Ponders to have effective offense against the zone defense.
Nick picks up his first, second on the team. Small delay there as they had to reset the shot clock on the foul. Fresh 30 for the Red Raiders.
Coach Bowler doesn't like tic-tac fouls. He wants physical play. He wants his players allowed to move other opponents offline on the defensive end.
Tucci, baseline drive, kicks it out to Casolito. He drives inside, has the ball stripped away. McGilvery to the ground for the ball. But Melrose comes up with the loose change.
Serendipity.
They reset the shot clock, and they should not have. And now they're going to stop play and figure out where that shot clock could be. I don't think at any point during that scrum did Arlington have possession of the ball, so it would not have been reset. So the officials are going to have to figure out how much time they're going to give Melrose on the shot clock.
And Don, you see 3 officials out there. This is a problem that I kind of have with this. If we could have 3 officials every game, I would love it. But I question the change of a policy and a mindset of an officiating crew. Do you think it makes, as an official yourself, is it harder to officiate a 3-man crew or easier?
Well, it's easier as an official. It's easier, but from a player's standpoint, is it's just that extra set of eyes.
Yeah,
that's there to spot stuff that maybe you're getting away with, maybe a little bit of a hip on a moving screen or down low action, rebounding action. There's that third set of eyes, and that causes the game to be longer, and it causes players to get in foul trouble quicker.
And the Spy Ponders are a physical team, as we've been mentioning all year and tonight. That is something that they're not going to be looking forward to, more whistles.
So the determination is that there is 11 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Interesting that they put the ball back in play on the sideline there. Melrose stoppage of play was down on the baseline. Little disadvantage for the Red Raiders. But I guess it all doesn't matter as Holden Simmons has his first basket of the night, and Melrose leads 5-2.
The baby freshman is able to connect on a beautiful, effective inside move. The zone is really extended. They're going to have the baseline. If they move the ball side to side, they're going to get wide open jumpers.
McNamara pull-up jump shot is good.
That baby-faced assassin rears his head in the big game, just like his brother Colin, who had a game winner in the conference semifinals for WPI this weekend.
They beat MIT, but then lost to Emerson in the final, James Gascoigne's college of choice next year. And now I think they should get a travel. No, they're going to get a foul. And I think that's on Stephen McGilvery. If so, it'll be his first and the third on the team. Melrose yet to commit a team foul here in this ballgame.
I can feel the consternation emanating from Coach Bowler. That's now a second tic-tac foul. When we say tic-tac foul, we mean plays that could be called as incidental contact, and they're being called as fouls.
Short foul on jump shot there is no good by Vlakovic. Spy Ponders with a chance to reclaim the lead.
You know, I mentioned in the onset that this was a couple of 8-9 teams, and they're kind of playing like it right now. A little bit jittery, kind of fighting through some mistakes.
Gascoigne made the move to the basket. Prezosio took a dive, didn't get the call.
It's obvious that Melrose thinks they have a speed advantage. As you see way downtown, there is Simmons, and Simmons, the freshman, is proving to be very effective early.
Simmons for three, and the Melrose Red Raiders lead it by 4, 8-4 halfway through the first quarter. McNamara to the 10, has it blocked by Simmons. And here come the Red Raiders the other way.
Simmons is taking over this basketball game right now on both ends of the floor.
Tachi for three, no good. Now a rebounding foul will go against Vlakovic.
That's a little play that maybe doesn't seem like a big one, but right there the Spy Ponders were in a little bit of trouble, and Gascoigne does what he's done all year long. Make the right play every play. He boxes out, grabs a strong rebound, and causes a foul on the opponent. The Spy Ponders are a little bit of danger time right here. Not in danger of losing the contest, but in danger of kind of getting off on the wrong foot.
Spy Ponders go to the bench for the first time tonight. Number 5, Elan Signs Grant, and number 35, Jelani Joshua into the lineup. And there's another tic-tac foul, this one against Melrose. And it'll go against number 3, Chris Cruzalito, his second on the team.
And Don, you mentioned long games, and we've said all year long, and this has been a hot gym, and we mean hot heat-wise. This is as hot as it's ever been. I'd say over 85 degrees, and longer this game goes and the more fouls it's called, it's going to wear on these players.
McNamara for three, he's got it.
That baby-faced assassin McNamara way downtown, bang. And the sophomore for the Spy Ponders and the freshman for Melrose, the babies are taking over.
They've accounted for 10 of the total 15 points in the game, 5 each. And the Spy Ponders trail by 1. Simmons to the basket, no, little contact there. Officials play through that one. Rebound by Joshua.
Simmons is long and is able to extend arms towards the basket, which means you have to move your feet, get in front of them, and bother the shot best you can. Both teams are using kind of a three-quarter court press to slow things down and make players think before they act, which is causing...
Gascoigne to the basket, no. But he is fouled on the play. He'll go to the line for 2.
This is a game, you know, who are the players that are going to be effective and are going to be able to execute under pressure? It's a Gascoigne, it's a Nick Corrales, but surprisingly, we've seen the young players kind of take over early.
Gascoigne hits the first free throw, his first point of the game, and ties the game at 8. For Melrose, number 4, Luke Pashoian into the lineup, and Vlakovic back in as well.
You know, when I had seen Gascoigne show his improvements from junior to senior year, I really identified him as a player that could be the difference maker in a playoff game.
1 of 2 for the tri-captain Gascoigne. Game is tied at 8. There's Gascoigne defending Vlakovic. Little baseline jump shot there is no good by Kelly. Ponders with a chance to take the lead. They have not led since early on when they led 2-0.
Ponders' defense is kind of like a boa constrictor. It strangles you slowly over time. And you see it there. Eventually they kind of figure things out, who can move where, and then they start to beat you to spaces.
Signs Grant on the cut to Corrales. Pass is stolen by Vlakovic. He's got a player ahead of the pack and laying it up and in. is number 3, Chris Cusolito.
Cusolito with a phenomenal finish at the basket, going full speed and able to control his body at the basket.
10-8 Red Raiders, minute 24 to go, first quarter. Nice little dump pass inside from Gascoigne, and Joshua lays it in.
The real man, Joshua, on a Gascoigne, making the right play again.
We're tied at 10. Stolen by Corrales. McNamara on the go. Onto Joshua. He drives. He puts it up and in. Beautiful finish by Jelani Joshua, and the Spy Ponders lead at 12-10 with a minute to go in the first quarter.
Casper Zach should get a timeout. This is what the Spy Ponders feed off, deflections and finishes at the cup on the other end.
Most of the Spy Ponders student body section that you can see to the right here, a lot of them are dressed in white. Short jump shot there is no good. Joshua with the rebound. Ponders can increase the lead. About a 7-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock.
Spy Ponders are slowly learning. They're figuring out what is effective and where they can move in space against this zone.
Joshua feeling it, flips it up, no, gets his own rebound, puts it up, and in! Jelani Joshua off the bench with a half dozen, and the Ponders lead it by 4.
The real man!
14-10, 9 seconds to go. Let's see what we have. We're going to have a blocking foul committed by Arlington. They're going to call it against Alon Sines Grant, his first, 4th on the team. And now Coach Bowler does a smart thing. He brings in Joey Pazia, number 21, off the bench, just so that James doesn't pick up a cheap foul here with 6.3 seconds left. He's going to do the same thing with Alon Sines Grant as he puts Philip Cherry Jr. into the lineup. And let's see if Melrose can get off a final shot here in the final 6.3.
Got to protect that middle here. You want to make them shoot from the outside. Oh, wow. And this is real tic-tac-toe. I mean, it's official. Does that look like possibly incidental contact to you?
I don't know. Wasn't really looking at what Joey Pazzi was doing. All I know is it hurts to pick up 2 team fouls in the final 7 seconds of a quarter. Arlington now with 5. They only have 1 to give before Melrose is in the bonus.
They want to go into this quarter and with momentum.
Lakovic, no. Philip Cherry Jr. with a great rebound. And that's the end of the first quarter.
The crowd exudes celebration as the Spy Ponders finish the quarter strong with a 8-0 run to take a 14-10 lead. And Don, at the time, I pointed out that I thought Gascoigne had made a very simple play, but an important one when he made a strong box out, caused a foul on the other team. I thought that settled down Arlington, kind of said, hey, I'm in control here. I can move people around. I can do my job. And he had a calm demeanor about him. I kind of thought that settled everybody down. And from there, Jelani Joshua came in and did what he's done all season long, and that's just give energy.
I'm out. All of a sudden, can you hear me? I just lost all the background music, but
No, we're actually on. I think that's just in our headsets. So
that's good.
Yeah. So no, I say and Jelani Joshua Jelani Joshua had so much energy, he sucked it out of our headsets. But but he's really was the difference maker, and the Spy Ponders kind of settled down and did what they've done best. During this run, and that's play effective defense and smart offense.
While we have a second, a shout out to our ACMi crew here tonight. Alex Van Thong and Kevin Wetmore, our producers. Paul Carosi and Bianca Zwick on camera, and Sam Staiti is our director. We get ready for second quarter action. Spy Ponder ball to begin the second quarter. They lead at 14-10. Still there by the Red Raiders.
The Red Raiders tried to use the dribble drives to be effective in the first quarter, and then when they weren't doing dribble drives, it was Simmons at the basket.
3-point shot is no good. That's a loose ball, but now it could be a backcourt. Oh, wow. Official was right there. Now the result is a 3-point shot by Melrose number 20, Jay Tucci.
So it'll be interesting if the Spy Ponders can fight through what might have been a poor call and move on to the next play. The next play now is Corrales.
Nice around the back pass, try to get it to Joshua. Now ball spot for, going to be a held ball. And on the alternating possession rule, it will be Melrose ball. So I'd like to see that one again down the road, Scott, because what happens is on a missed shot, there is no team control, so the ball can be tapped back to midcourt. But to me, it looked like the Melrose player then possessed it and then took a step into the backcourt. That's the way it looked from up here. We had a good look at it, but the official was right there and elected not to take that call.
It seemed like one of those calls that looked clear, but maybe you watch the replay, it's not so much. Everybody makes mistakes, and so everyone will move on here. But the Spy Ponders at the second quarter, Melrose has come out with a little pep in their step, kind of punching back from that hit they took from Arlington at the end of the first quarter.
Number 10, Miles Hess, into the Spy Ponder lineup for the first time tonight. And Simmons hits a 2. That was inside the arc, a 2-point shot by Holden Simmons. And Melrose takes the lead. I believe they get credited for 3 on the scoreboard. It should only be 2. And now a blocking foul is committed by Melrose. Hopefully it's on Simmons.
Well, I'll tell you something, Don. I got a fairly good eye for talent on a basketball court, and this Simmons is a Division I prospect, no doubt. When you see a player of that height and that young step into a three-pointer and bury it with poise and conviction, wow.
I'm pretty sure they ruled that last shot a 2. The scoreboard gave credit to Melrose for 3. I want them to fix this now before it becomes too late. They definitely gave credit to Melrose for a 3-point shot. I thought the official gave the indication that it was a 2.
Yeah, he may have. I mean, I saw his feet. His feet were behind the line.
Yeah, they fixed it.
Oh, what? They called it 2?
It's a 2. Yeah, it was a 2. Clearly, the official made the 2-point signal on the shot.
Did you say, okay, so maybe I missaw it. Okay, so that's and now. So certainly, Melrose has fought back, and now it's the Spy Ponders' turn to see what they can do.
They have the first 5 of this second quarter and have retaken the lead, 15-14. 6:27 to go in the second quarter. McNamara drives, a little pull-up shot from about 8 feet, no good. And tough roll there for the Arlington. Looked like a couple of Arlington players had good position, but the high bounce of the rebound eluded James Gascoigne.
One of the most important things to remember in a playoff game is that these games are long. They feel short by fans as Pazia creates a foul. But, these games are long, in which it's the team that's going to maintain the highest focus for the longest period of time that most often comes out with the win. And you've seen both teams kind of taking lapses off of that effort, and the other team really taking advantage of it.
Yeah, definitely been some runs in this game. Joey Pazia picks up foul number 2.
Good to see Pazia back out there. He was hurt for a long period of time this season. He's a hard worker, positive player. We saw it on the bench all season long how much he was urging his players on. So it's good to see him out there competing.
Stephen McGilvery will check back into the Arlington lineup to replace Pazia, who has those 2 fouls. Luka Vlakovic, the tri-captain of the Red Raiders, missed the first free throw, and now he will attempt his second.
One of the things that will happen in a hot gym, the hands get a little bit extra sweaty and free throws become very difficult.
1 of 2 for Vlakovic.
So anytime you see a team go through a drought where they can't put the ball in the basket, whoever scores the next basket is going to be someone who's very confident, because right now they're not having very much confidence, and you see a 10-second violation.
Coach Bowler is right there with referee Mamadou Ba saying he was trying to get a timeout because he saw that the 10-second count was getting close. He tried to get a timeout. He did not get it, and Arlington turns it over on a very rare 10-second violation.
Yeah, I don't know if he missed if it was a quick 10, that's a travel. As you see a timeout there by Mike Kasperzak. That's a strange timeout by Kasperzak. I don't know what you thought, Tom. I mean, I'm looking at it right now. If I'm Melrose, I don't want anything to stop. Let's go forward here. We get all the momentum. We just forced a 10-second violation. Let's not let Arlington kind of get back and collect themselves here. But maybe he saw something that we can't really see up here. I mean, he's the professional, Don. We're just up here making wisecracks.
A 6-0 run to begin the second quarter for the Red Raiders, as you mentioned, Scott. A lot of momentum on their side, but for whatever reason, this is his 12th season. He's been doing this for a long time. And as we mentioned here, this is a classic game here. You have a league game, which I'm not a big fan of, but that's the way the math works out, so be it. An 8 versus a 9 seed, a 12 and 18 versus a 10 and 8 team. And we're getting everything we expected in the first quarter in 2 minutes.
Well, Don, all these teams in the last 5 years, they want to become what Arlington has been. And, if you want to win 42 straight or, whatever their record was, you got to start by winning one. So if Melrose wants to get where Arlington is, they got to start by winning one.
That home regular season win streak for the Spy Ponders reached as high as 51 games before they lost. And let's see if Gascoigne gets the call. He does not. We're going to call James for the blocking foul.
Wow, this Vlagovic is a milk truck. He just powered his way with the power of a fullback and the dexterity of a ballerina, and was rewarded with a foul call as Gascoigne was a little bit late.
Vlahovic at the line for 2, and again, he misses the first.
Yeah, as I said, it's hot gym. These palms get a little extra sweaty. But get back to what I said last possession. Arlington still is stuck on 14. We saw them stuck on 6 against Winchester. Sometimes the brain plays tricks on you, You start to remember some things that happen. This is where senior leadership comes in.
Vlahovic comes up empty on the free throws, and the Red Raider lead remains just 2.
Now the Red Raiders are trapping high and forcing the Arlington Spy Ponders to make decisions. That's obviously what Kasprzak had to do. He had to tell his team to the timeout.
McNamara pull-up jump shot just inside the foul line, no good. Steve McGilvery fighting for the rebound. Comes up with it for the Ponders. Gascoigne spins, lays it up. No, Gascoigne fights for his own rebound. Ball is out of bounds. It'll be Ponder ball.
Well, when you need senior leadership, a senior comes through, makes a big dive on the floor for a ball, and creates another opportunity.
If Gascoigne could have got that finger roll to go, this place would have gone crazy. Instead, I thought he was going to tie it there. Swift for 3. No. Hess with the rebound. Looked like McGilvery got tied up with the Melrose player.
Yeah, he did, Don, and they're both hot, but McGilvery did a nice job there. He kind of turned his back on the whole situation to say, look, man, I'm not escalating this here. When you see players tying up like that, what usually happens is one player kind of throws a kick or a punch kind of quote-unquote by mistake, and I thought McGilvery showed some real leadership there by deciding to be the better man.
Foul goes against Marino Preziosa. What was that?
And it's Gascoigne. Bing, bang, boom from 8 feet. And they proved me to be Kreskin as I called for senior leadership, and there it was. Bing, bang, boom.
That must have been a quick inbounding play. I went to mark my score sheet. Next thing I know, everyone's clapping. James Gascoigne with a bucket, ties it at 16, and Arlington takes a timeout.
Yeah, big, I was getting those flashbacks there of the Winchester game where they went down, I don't know, it was almost a full quarter of scoreless basketball. And in hindsight, when they lost the Winchester game by, I think it was the final score was a margin of maybe 8, you look back at that stretch of basketball, and one could say that maybe cost them the game. And that's a huge basket there by Gascoigne on a possession extended by McGilvery.
During that timeout, you got to look at the Arlington High School cheerleading squad. Seniors Sophia Tiezzi, Jackie Adragna, Megan Mignanelli, Kara Smith, Aliyah Hill, Faith Griffin. Juniors Antonio Delarusso, Molly Hankinson. Sophomore Sophie Mincello, Vivian Ruiz. As the layup is missed by Melrose, Cammie Patterson, Eleanor Krigsman, and Ave Morales. Now strong to the basket, Brendan McNamara with the lay-in, and the Spy Ponders take the lead.
And it's Bowler, the timeout. He speeds this game up, and now it's Arlington creating a miss at one end and a basket at the other. And right now, all the momentum is with your Spy Ponders.
McGilvery with the defense there caused Simmons to dribble the ball off his own foot and out of bounds. You young players watching at home, great defense there. You put your foot on the baseline and you don't let him go that way. Great defense, Stephen McGilvery. Here comes McNamara. He fails and he's going to the hole again, and he's fouled on the play.
McNamara proving that speed kills. Doing it on both ends. That time, dribbling a ball, but he's fast enough to catch up to it, tap it ahead to himself, and he's finishing at the cup. Or not finishing at the cup, he's attempting at the cup with contact and will shoot 2.
Vlahovic picks up the foul for the Red Raiders, his second, team 6th. McNamara hits the first free throw. Now that Melrose has 16 fouls, and Jelani Joshua checking into the Arlington lineup, replacing Stephen McGilvery. So now both teams will be in the bonus for the duration of the half. 4:28 remaining in this first half, and the Spy Ponders lead at 19-16.
Well, the 1-2 punch of McGillivray and Joshua have been the two most energetic players on the court this game, and that stint by McGillivray was his most effective of the year.
9 straight for the Ponders, Scott. They trailed this 16-10. They now lead at 19-16. A little difficult shot there as Prozosia couldn't really get his feet set, and then he hit an awkward-looking shot, but it counts, and the Ponder lead is down to 1.
That's a massive basket for Melrose. They were kind of on their heels, and they were kind of taking it on the chin, and that was a big bucket.
Joshua from the foul line, a little bit short. Swift and James fight for the rebound. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Arlington ball.
You know, it's funny, Don. You see the zone is so gapped out that almost everybody has an open look. And sometimes when you get open looks, people say, well, should I shoot this? I'm open, or should I pass it on? And you get in that indecisive range. I think that's where the Spy Ponders are right now.
Just shoot it. Halfway through this second quarter, Arlington 19, Melrose 18. McNamara fakes, gets it to Corrales. Corrales, little pull-up jump shot, and he hits it.
Corrales says, I know what to do with it. I shoot with poise and confidence. Bing, bang, boom.
21-18 Ponders, 3:21 remaining first half. Three-pointer for Simmons, no good. Rebound fought for. I thought it was last touch by Melrose. It was. It'll be Arlington ball.
You know, Don, we saw the beginning of the game, the freshmen and the sophomore, young players were taking over. As this game is matriculating and getting older, we're seeing the more experienced players starting to have the most success.
Inside to Joshua, to Nick. Nick's going to try again. No, instead he makes a beautiful pass to Joshua. I don't know if he was ready for it. Instead, Joshua powers it up on the other side. Couldn't get it to go. And Melrose comes back the other way. They trail by 3. Vlakovic, strong to the hole. No good. Swift with the rebound. Here comes Brendan McNamara for Arlington. Dumps it inside to Joshua. Joshua fakes, puts it up, no. Gets his own rebound, fakes, puts it up, no. The rebound for Vlakovic.
Twice is not nice for Joshua, who caught an outstanding pass but was not able to finish. Back and forth action.
Great effort by Joshua on the offensive board, though.
Gascoigne is going to work here on the freshman.
3-point shot from the corner, no good. Bounces high off the top of the backboard. That's in play. 2:17 to go. Arlington by 3.
As Spy Ponders make Melrose shoot from the outside, they're going to have success on the defensive end.
Gascoigne for 3. Long. Corrales high for the offensive rebound, but was unable to control it. And with exactly 2 minutes remaining in the first half, Melrose looks to cut into the Arlington lead. Left-handed basket, count it, for Marino Prozosia, and he'll go to the line with a chance for a 3-point play and a chance to tie the game.
And you saw this started when this player made that what looked like a serendipitous shot kind of off his heels. That got his confidence going. Then he's dribble driving to the basket with, brimming with pride as he went up and finished while being moved off his line.
Foul went against Nick Corrales, his second, so with a minute 57 to go in the first half, Coach Bull is going to play it safe. He brings in Philip Cherry Jr. to replace the senior tri-captain for fear of picking up another foul.
We said at the onset that this was an 8-9 game, and that's what it's playing out. These are two evenly matched teams.
Preziosa unable to complete the 3-point play, unable to tie the game. Ponders lead at 21-20 with a minute 46 to go. Gascoigne up and under. Ball was knocked away. Here comes Tucci the other way. Simmons, he's going to drive. He's going to give Melrose the lead.
And Simmons, pump fake, dribble, drive. Another scholarship level play for the freshman. And back and forth we go.
22-21 Melrose. Gascoigne up, floats up in the air and puts it in off the window. What a beautiful basket by James Gascoigne.
Both players using the pump fake, dribble, drive to perfection, telling the young players this is how it's done.
23-22 coming up on the final minute remaining. First half. Ponders lead it.
This is championship basketball. The energy is infectious. 8
on the shot clock for Melrose.
5.
There should be a 5-second count going. And now laying it in is Tucci, and I think Arlington wanted a 5-second count, and so did I.
Yeah.
He's holding the ball for a long time.
Serendipitous, both on the non-call and the way the ball kind of just rolled over the front of the rim.
24-23 Melrose. Arlington with 32 seconds remaining in the half. James Gascoigne for three. Back rim, no. McNamara with the rebound. And they're going to call a foul against Simmons. And that'll put Brendan McNamara at the line with 26.5 seconds to go.
So in a hot gym and a intense atmosphere with lots of pressure, the teams that do things like shoot free throws, prevent fouls, hustle to loose balls, win races, they're the teams that's going to come out on top. I'm a broken record, but the team that, tries the hardest most consistently for the longest period of time, and that's a play that Brendan McNamara shows he's capable.
Elon Signs Grant checking back into the Arlington lineup. He replaces Sam Swift. So Arlington going with a defensive lineup here for the final half minute, although Gascoigne and McNamara will remain. Joshua, Signs Grant, and Cherry Jr., the other three for the Ponders. McNamara hits both free throws, and Arlington reclaims the lead. Lead's been going back and forth here for the last couple minutes. It's 25-24 Arlington, 22 seconds to go. Ball's knocked away by McNamara. Arlington should hold for a final shot. Said McNamara's going 1,000 miles an hour. Ball's knocked out of bounds. It remained Melrose ball. And now I think on the inbounding play, Arlington will clearly like to hold for a final shot.
They may dime, but sometimes this is called, it's called reversing it. When teams think you're supposed to go slow, you try to make the other team go fast. When they think you're going to go slow, you go fast. Maybe that was right there. But I agree with you now, in a game this tight, you really got to try to maximize your possessions here.
Arlington goes a little offense-defense. They bring in number 10, Miles Hess, to replace Elon Signs Grant. Joshua down to Philip Cherry Jr. Philip Cherry Jr. powers it up, no. And here's the danger of that, but Arlington gets the ball in the steal. Joshua is called for an offensive foul.
Chaos on the court as there's lots of contact when Gascoigne reaches in to make a steal. They don't call it, and then maybe a little less contact, maybe a little bit of a flop on the other end, and it's called on Joshua. As successful as Joshua was in the first quarter, he struggled a little bit in the second quarter, but it sure hasn't been for lack of effort.
Definitely not. Joshua picks up his first, team's ninth. Of course, a non-shooting foul being a player control foul. 4.8 seconds to go. Let's see what kind of shot Melrose gets off at the buzzer. They get a long three. It's off to the side of the rim, no good. And that will end the first half.
That is about as exciting and energetic, effervescent first halves as we've seen here all year. And in the playoffs the last few years, this feels like a playoff game. It's playing out like an 8-9 playoff game, and the players are going to be asked questions of what they can do to improve for the second half. And so with that, that's where we're going to go.
The score at the end of the first half, Arlington 25, Melrose 24. Stay tuned for the halftime show with Scott and myself.
You are watching ACMi Sports' coverage of Arlington basketball. Where would you rather be than right here and right now?
And we're back for the ACMi Sports halftime show. And Scott, what an exciting first half.
An amazing first half. It was back and forth action by both clubs. The atmosphere was electric and exciting, and it proved up to live up to the hype.
So the second quarter I found very interesting. You had Arlington leading 14-10 at the end of the first quarter. Melrose got the first 6 of the second quarter. Arlington responded with 9 of their own. Then we had a seesaw battle for the final 4 minutes where each team was going back and forth, maintaining the lead. Your thoughts on the runs of the game?
I think that it's a case of when a team gets on their run, they start feeling confident, maybe a little bit too confident about how they're playing, and then they let up a little bit. Whoa! Everybody's excited today, but I think they get maybe a little bit overconfident. It's a natural human emotion, and then the other team gets a little nervous, and they're amped up and very focused. And so it's the team that's going to be able to kind of level out, keep the confidence high and the energy high, but not to the point where it has peaks and valleys.
Both teams being led by the young players, Brendan McNamara with 10, Holden Simmons with 9 for the Red Raiders. Your comments on the young players here tonight?
They're both outstanding, both Simmons and McNamara. both two different kind of players. McNamara is a speedy player that kind of finishes at the basket, shooting the outside, and Simmons is someone big but strong and gets to the basket through dribble drives. Two effective players and very young. The future's bright.
And as we have seen in years past, when Arlington hosts a home playoff game in the state tournament, they really come out in droves to see the game. Big crowd here tonight, very hot atmosphere. You were commenting to me between quarters that you think that this heat might be a factor in this ball game.
I really do, Don. You know, we've kind of joked about the heat all year, but this is a night in this atmosphere where it can get extraordinarily hot in here. And that's, as I said, your palms get sweaty, there's extra moisture in the air. It makes it difficult to shoot from the outside, but especially shoot free throws. So watch for that in the second half. The team that can kind of get through that, fight through it, and be capable from the outside is going to have a good advantage in the second half.
Spy Ponders lead at 25-24. Stay with Scott and I. We'll have the call of the second half coming up. And getting ready for second half action here at the Kozlowski Gymnasium in the MIAA Division II North first round game. My name is Don Phelan. I'm joined by Scott Zwick. The ACMi crew tonight: Alex Van Thong, Kevin Wetmore, Paul Carosi, Bianca Zwick, and Sam Staiti. And the Spy Ponders lead at 25-24 as we begin the second half. The loser, their season comes to an end. The winner gets to go to Belmont Friday night and play the number 1 seeded Marauders. And
So
now, I guess the shot clock, as the game clock is down to 7:47, shot clock is showing 27 seconds. So obviously, that math doesn't work, right, Scott? I know you're good at math. I know you love math problems.
Gosh.
Don't let me bring in Bianca Zwick about the math with the Winchester High
Holy
education.
Cow. Yeah, well, Marmaduke can certainly do math better than me, but you know, Don, both teams are going to come out now. You know, they've gotten some fluids in them. They got a little pep in their step, and so now you've got to kind of readjust, right? You were tired shooting and playing at the end of the half. Now you got to readjust, and the team that makes that adjustment quicker is going to have a big advantage.
Well, these teams played earlier, back in December of 18, and the Spy Ponders won by only 2 at Melrose. Long three for Brendan McNamara is good, and the Spy Ponders have the first points of the second half.
McNamara way downtown, bang, and he's ready to go.
Here's the freshman Simmons, goes into McGilvery, takes the difficult shot anyway, kind of forced that one, not a great shot. Corrales back to Gascoigne, back to Nick, he likes that corner 3, and he is off the mark. I thought it was good. Back come the Red Raiders the other way. Oh, McNamara, I don't know if he got a piece of that shot or not. He anticipated the shot by Cusolito, and whether he got a piece of it or not, Cusolito missed the layup.
Frenetic action here at the ties.
Sam Swift for 3. Timeout, Melrose.
Bing, bang, boom. Swift from way downtown, and the Spy Ponders take their largest lead of the game, 31-24.
And they came out here in the second half, Scott, and they've hit back-to-back three-point shots. And you couldn't have asked for a better start for Arlington.
You couldn't, and Don, we've been at these games that are pressure-packed, these games that are very important and where the outcome has big importance, and plays at the end of halves, quarters, beginnings of second halves, experienced players oftentimes can execute those a little more effectively. I think we saw it right there.
And I hope you watched the halftime show. Scott and I, as well as the Arlington High School cheerleaders, performed at halftime. And again, their roster consists of senior Sophia Tiezzi, Jackie Adragna, Megan Magnanelli, Kara Smith, Aliyah Hill, Faith Griffin. Juniors, Antonio Delarusso, Molly Hankinson. Melrose barely getting it over the timeline. Now laying it up and in is the freshman again, Holden Simmons.
Simmons, excellent finish at the basket, and the Spy Ponders have decided to speed this game up. They're going to trap Melrose on one end, and they're going to let outside shots fly in the other.
Finishing up that lineup of the cheerleading squad, the sophomores, Sophie Michello, Vivian Ruiz, Cammie Patterson. As Gascoigne goes inside, can't connect on the short shot. McGilvery comes up with it, loses it. Eleanor Kriegsman and Ave Morales. That rounds out the cheerleading squad. The cheerleading squad qualified for the regionals March 3rd as Tucci gets the lay-in, and Melrose off the timeout answers with 4 unanswered of their own, and they've cut the Arlington lead down to 3. Getting back quickly to the cheerleaders. They qualified for the regionals March 3rd at North Reading High School at 6 o'clock. If they were to do well there, they would qualify for the state. So good luck to the Arlington High School cheerleading squad, competing in postseason action of their own. McGilvery strong with the left hand, no. I don't know if it was partially blocked by Vlakovic. Now Simmons goes hard, and a great defensive play by Sam Swift. Offensive foul on Holden Simmons, his second.
Simmons is going to have to take a seat and contemplate being too aggressive at the basket, and the Spy Ponders are taking a big risk with their trap defense, knowing it's going to be Simmons on the other end trying to finish, and they want a big risk, right? They want a big test right there by creating contact.
Number 34, Brandon McSorley, the junior, checks into the lineup, replacing Simmons. Interesting substitution there, Scott. Only Simmons' second foul, and it wasn't as if Coach Kasperzik went over and spoke with him. They cannot afford to not have him play as Swift tries another 3. I don't think he'll be sitting too long.
I wouldn't take him out at gunpoint.
Ooh, good double team by the Ponders, almost caused a carry by Melrose. Melrose just gets it over the timeline.
Cusolito has been elite handling the basketball under pressure tonight. He's prevented turnovers by simply dribbling phenomenally.
3-point shot for McSorley, and he's got it. So a great substitution by Coach Kasperzak as McSorley comes off the bench, hits a 3, and ties the game at 31.
So Coach Kasperzak knows what he's doing, and I'm a dope. I would have had the player in the game. Instead, he's got a substitute hitting a huge basket.
Gascoigne short jump shot, no. Gets his own rebound, flips it up, no. And we remain tied at 31 with 4:28 remaining, third quarter.
And the script we saw in the first half as we see a ticky-tack foul continues in the second half, Don, right? Back and forth, ebbs and flows.
Right.
It's the players are still being asked the same question. Can you make your effort and effectiveness a little more even instead of bumpy? The team that's going to even that out and not have the ebbs and flows is going to probably end up winning this game.
Yeah, Arlington had the first 6 of this quarter. Melrose has answered with 7 unanswered of their own to tie it at 31, coming up on the halfway point of this third quarter. A little spin move by, there by Vlakovic. No, but they're going to get Gascoigne on the foul with the body for James as foul number 2.
James says to himself, holy cow, I didn't think I was going to be dealing with college moves until my first year in college, but a freshman pulled a phenomenal one. It was a little jab step, and then he it wasn't?
Yeah, that's Vlakovic.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he looked a little bit like Simmons
he sure
on that
did.
play.
I'll tell you, that was an outstanding move. It was made with dexterity and finesse, and it really reminded me of the super freshman Simmons. So both players showing effective inside play.
Speaking of the freshman Simmons, he checks back into the Red Raider lineup. And for Arlington, Jelani Joshua, number 35, and Miles Hess, number 10, check in. Vlakovic hits both free throws, and Melrose has a 2-point lead, 33-31, exactly halfway through the third quarter.
Kasperzak is pulling all the right strings right now.
Brendan McNamara for 3, no. Hess with the rebound for the Ponders.
Well, they're going to have to make sure they get a hand in McNamara's face, or they will eventually pay for leaving him open from the outside.
McNamara, pull-up jumper, no.
You know, I'll tell you, I've made a couple comparisons to this game to the Winchester game, and not that the outcome might be similar, but there's a few similar things happening. Teams struggling to score for long periods of time. Brendan McNamara struggling to connect from the outside for an odd reason, a reason that I can't really put my finger on. His stroke looks smooth and confident, and his follow-through looks excellent. So I think it's a case of he's just got to stick with it and continue to believe in himself, and that's going to fall. I mean, 3:28 here left in the third, Don. You can feel the pressure building, can't you?
Oh, absolutely. And another interesting timeout there by Melrose.
Yeah.
They've used their third timeout. That leaves them with only 2. Now, as a coach, you're going to have what appears to be a very tight fourth quarter. And if I'm Melrose, I think I'd want more than those 2 timeouts. So we'll see how that plays out if it becomes a factor in this game.
I really agree, but more importantly, when I'm leading on the road, right, I'm going to save my timeouts for either end of the game or score flips. When that score flips, my team psychologically is in panic sometimes. I don't see a score flip here for Coach Kessler, but then again, we saw in the first half he made a change in the timeout, and they were effective coming out of it earlier in the contest. So maybe he's got a secret play here.
Their team leads by 2 with 3:28 remaining in the third quarter. Now some more discussion between the officials.
The officials have been tremendous, and I did think that some of them were tic-tac fouls, but they've been consistent. Their effort has been there. They've been in control of this game.
Yeah, they called it tight early, but this quarter now only 3 total fouls called. And let them play a little bit more.
Well, when you're consistent, the players end up learning, and that's what happened in the court tonight.
Hess had a chance for that steal. Now they play a little short passing game inside between the Melrose players, resulting in a foul on James Gascoigne, and I believe that will be James' 3rd foul. This is a problem.
It is a problem, and I don't like the call, quite frankly. I think the officials have been trying their best and maybe they just made a mistake here, because what I saw there was Holden actually jumping away from the basket. And if you're jumping away from the basket and there's minimal contact, I don't like that being rewarded with 2 free throws, especially against a 50-50 call against a 4-year senior.
Simmons, nothing at the line. McSorley almost took it away from Gascoigne. Fortunately for Arlington, Scott, Melrose has been very poor at the free throw line so far tonight.
It's tough to shoot free throws in hot gyms.
Miles Hess for 3.
That crafty junior, little serendipity motion, motion from 3 way downtown. Super sophomore. Excuse me.
Spy Ponders back on top, 34-33. Blocked by Joshua, but he gets called for the foul on the play. And Holden Simmons will go to the line for 2.
Holy cow, I was holding my breath there, Don, because I don't know if you noted it, but I can tell you what was going through Simmons' mind there. He was going to woof that ball down right on Joshua's head, and Joshua made a gutsy and courageous block at the basket, even if he got contact.
Simmons hits the first free throw and ties the game at 34 with 2:56 remaining in the third quarter.
That a player of this freshman throws down a vociferous dunk in a game like this. That can turn the tide.
1 of 2, and we remain tied at 34.
Holy cow, where would you rather be than right here and right now? Spy Ponders' effective offense, balls moving side to side. Players from the outside have shots that are passing up.
7 on the shot clock. Ponders have to get a shot up, and Corrales will be called for traveling. Unfortunately, he hits the shot and make matters worse.
Yeah, no doubt. And sometimes you can be a little too patient, right? And when people say, how can you be too patient? Well, you saw it right there. Sometimes when a player touches the ball 2-3 times in a possession, they start to second guess themselves, and I think that's what you saw right there with Corrales.
2:27 remaining third quarter. Spin move by Vlakovic. Vlakovic gets it back in the corner, takes a 3. It's long. And Joshua did a nice job of tipping that rebound away. It looked like Cusolito was going to have it for the Red Raiders, but Joshua knocked it away from him. Now they go inside of Joshua. Joshua had a great first half for Arlington. He's fouled on the play, a non-shooting foul. It will be Arlington ball on the baseline.
That's the right idea for the Spy Ponders, getting the basketball in close towards the basket. Both teams right now are struggling to shoot the basketball from the outside. Hot gym, sweaty palms, pressure-packed game. Sometimes you got to keep firing the open shots away until you say, now we need to try something different. And I think both teams are kind of right at that threshold.
Vlakovic picked up that foul, his 3rd, only the 2nd on the team. And he comes out of the Melrose lineup, replaced by Brandon McSorley, who hit a big three-pointer earlier in this third quarter. So both Gascoigne for Arlington and Vlakovic for the Red Raiders, both saddled with 3 fouls. Let's see if that goes against Simmons. It does.
Wow.
So I think for Simmons, that's his third. So now both big people for the Red Raiders, Vlakovic, the tri-captain, and Simmons, the super freshman, both with 3 fouls, and now both on the Melrose bench.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle of attrition tonight, folks. Who can keep their composure? Who can foul and not foul in the key moments?
Up and under, Jelani Joshua, no, fights for his own rebound, loose. Melrose comes up with it. Now Coach Bowler has elected to continue playing James Gascoigne with his 3 fouls. I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Bowler takes him out here with the 2 Melrose big people on the bench and kind of even that off so that James doesn't pick up foul number 4.
Yeah, I think he's maybe hoping that he's going to get James some real good looks on the other end. True. But, you know, it's pick your poison, right? You know, you maybe get those looks at the expense of a 4th foul.
And now 4 seconds on the shot clock. Difficult shot attempted by Melrose. Ball's knocked loose. Melrose comes up with it.
Frenetic action here.
Tied at 34 for a while now, coming up on the final minute in the third quarter. Cusalito for 3, around the rim and out. Rebound knocked loose. Corrales comes up with it with the Ponders under a minute to go, third quarter.
Both teams continue to struggle shooting from the outside. The Ponders have a high-low. If they get the backside wing to dive in on the pass down low, they're going to have a wide-open layup at the basket. They're bringing 2 people down on the block on Gascoigne. If they get it to him and he turns and faces, the backside wing has a wide-open lane to the basket.
Joey Pazia, number 21, back into the Arlington lineup, and he replaces Jelani Joshua. 47.4 seconds to go. Of course, with the foul, the shot clock resets, so Arlington has a full 30 to work with here.
The teams that remain confident and don't get unsure of themselves will be the ones to shoot well from the outside down the stretch.
McNamara for 3.
Bing, bang, boom. McNamara says, I'm confident.
37-34. There's just a fraction of a second differential between the 2 clocks.
Spy Ponders are trying to get deflections off of these traps so they can get easy looks at the basket, which will make them shoot with more confidence from the outside.
Cusalito drives, does not get the roll. Rebound last touch by Melrose. Arlington ball as McSorley came in and tipped that one away.
So mark this time down in the game. McNamara hits a key 3-pointer after both teams struggled for several minutes to connect at any shot from the basket.
6.7 seconds to go. McNamara, coast to coast, lays it in! Brendan McNamara scores with 1 second to go, and the third quarter buzzer sounds. You can't even hear it. It was so loud in here. And Scott, how quickly did he get up the court? There was only 6.7 seconds to go, and I still think there was 2 or 3 seconds left to go when he scored that.
Great players make big plays in big games. You saw it there, McNamara from the outside, and then shows that he can do it end to end, bursting with electric and energetic speed, and then finishing. He almost went too fast at the basket, found himself there quicker than he's ever been in his life, and said, oh, I better get it in real quick, and he did. And that could be a key moment in this basketball game, because how many times can you go back and forth?
Well, McNamara, with the score tied at 34, hit the 3-point shot. I thought Arlington maybe was trying to do a 2-for-1, but by the time he shot it and it went in, there was only about a 1 second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. So Melrose could have held for a final shot. They did not. They lost the ball out of bounds, and then Brendan McNamara went the length of the floor basically in 3 or 4 seconds.
Well, you know, McNamara is a very confident player. One of the reasons he's confident is he has an older brother who's explained to him what to expect in big games and pressure situations. And he saw it for himself on Saturdays. He saw his big brother hit a big clutch shot by remaining confident in the game. And little things like that make a difference.
Melrose ball to begin the fourth quarter. Cusalito got clotheslined by Gascoigne. And for James, that's his 4th, and that was not the foul Coach Bowler wants James Gascoigne to pick up number 4 with.
No, as talented as McNamara is on one end, hard-nosed is Cusolito on the other end. I could not be more impressed with this Cusolito. He can play on my team any day of the week and twice on Sunday. You know, he's not flashy, he's not brimming with skill, but he tries hard and always gives his best effort.
So check this moment right here, 7:54 to go, third quarter. Gascoigne goes to the bench with his 4th foul. Jelani Joshua back in. And also for Arlington, Elon signs Grant, checks in to give Nick Corrales a break. Little pull-up jump shot, blocked by Hess. Miles Hess with a big defensive play. 14 on the shot clock for the Red Raiders.
Youth being served at the spy pod.
Zolito to the basket. No shot. A blocking foul will be called against Elon signs Grant. It'll be Arlington's 6th team foul. So no bonus yet. Signs Grant picks up his 2nd. And as I said, the 6th on the team.
So the beat goes on, right, Don? Now I'm sensing Melrose with a little bit more energized steps, and it's going to be the team or player that can kind of fight through that could make the difference.
Well, they know they have a golden opportunity here with all-league player for Arlington, James Gascoigne, on the bench with 4 fouls. McNamara decides to pull it back up. Miles Hess just takes the 3 and nails it! Miles Hess for 3!
Bing, bang, boom! The super sophomore! The crafty one, Hess!
Spy Ponders with their biggest lead of the game. It's 42-34 Arlington. 7:06 to go. Pazia called for a kicking violation. Melrose will keep the ball. They will get a new 30-second shot clock. But now Melrose finds themselves down by 8 in hostile territory.
In the most pressure-packed environment of the season, the players making the 2 most dynamic plays are the super sophomores, Hess and McNamara, the baby-faced assassins.
7 minutes to go in somebody's season. Pull-up jump shot there by Vlahovic.
Vlahovic is tough. He's tough as heck, and that was an important basket. I don't know if Melrose was going to be able to overcome a deficit if it crept up to 44-34. Big basket.
Pazia inside. Oh, he went the blind pass to Joshua. Didn't work, but Arlington didn't lose it. Now Joshua has a lane to the basket. He gets fouled, but they don't call it. But Joshua scores at the cup.
The real man shows what it means to have perseverance.
Strong to the basket. Not scoring, though, is Simmons. And the Ponders with the ball and an 8-point lead. And a chance to increase it.
Joshua doing it on both ends, hustling and trying his best to push his team over the top in the most important contest of the year.
Joshua, he has 2 more. Jelani Joshua in double figures, and the Ponders lead is double figures. 46-36, 5:50 to go.
Melrose is in deep trouble. They need a basket here.
Just get it over the timeline. Simmons spins, kicks it back out to Tucci for 3. He cannot hit. Pazia fights for the rebound. Last touch by Melrose. It'll be Arlington ball.
Melrose got a look that they wanted, but that is the most pressure-packed shot that any player in Melrose has taken all year. You know, Don, the basket by McNamara, when both teams were stuck, I believe it was on 34. That was really, we look right now at 5:36 left, and this Ponders leading by 10. That was the turning point, right? He hits that shot, backs it up with the coast-to-coast,
right,
and here we go.
The 5 unanswered at the end of the third quarter gave Arlington the momentum going into the fourth quarter. They led it by 5 after 3. They lead it by 10 right now. And, of course, they're doing a lot of this in the last couple minutes without James Gascoigne, who is still on the bench with 4 fouls. He had 4 fouls about, 10 seconds into this fourth quarter, so Arlington's played a little bit more than 2 minutes without him, and they've been able to extend the lead.
They sure have, and, you know, so you see Joshua out there, you see Hess. We've seen games where Hess has gotten DNP CD'd, right? So these are 2 players who have perseverance, who don't quit, who always believe in themselves, and you're seeing what the results can be right before your eyes here. I mean, are you kidding me, Hess? Those two clutch 3-pointers.
If you look at the score sheet, really Arlington has not got much scoring from their starting five except for from Brendan McNamara. Joshua fakes, drives, he wants two more. And he's going to be a blocking foul. It's going to be on one of the big guys, either 22 or 33. Let's see who it goes against. I don't know if they're going to consider that a shooting foul. Let's see.
Yeah, I
It's
thought
going to be a possession foul.
I thought maybe shuffled his feet out wide, but 46-36. I'll tell you, I don't know if Melrose. I mean, certainly they're not out of the game, but I mean, there's a point. I call it the breaking point where you're going to need a special effort to come back, and this is it. I don't think they can give up another point.
Spin move was partially blocked. Vlakovic went to the bench with his fourth foul. Melrose with 5 team fouls. Arlington has no more to give. Melrose is in the bonus. Inside Joshua, maybe with some contact there, got away with it. Simmons, top of the foul line jump shot is good. Holden Simmons now with 14 and a big bucket there by the freshman.
Simmons shows why he will be a scholarship player in the future by hitting an amazingly difficult shot with the season on the line. So look for McNamara here. He's the most experienced player on the court.
To the kin, no. He's fouled on the play.
And who did that remind you of, huh? Did that remind you of his brother right there? The key plays in the game, we need a basket. I'm going to the cup, and you can either foul me and let me shoot 2 free throws, or I can lay it in. Your choice.
But that came at a price for Melrose as Holden Simmons, the super freshman, picks up his 4th. So now both he and Vlakovic, the 2 big men for the Red Raiders, as the first free throw is no good, both with 4 fouls. Arlington with substitutions, Swift, McGilvery, and Corrales replacing Hess, Signs Grant, and Pazia. The Arlington bench has been outstanding here tonight.
It's been the difference, Don. Simple as that. It's been the difference. It's been the difference between the 2 teams. You can say that the talent might be equal on the top line. When you get to the second line and below, that's where the difference has been. Hess, Joshua, McGilvery. These are the players who have made the big plays when it's counted most.
Ponders back up to a 9-point lead. Cuzolito, little pull-up jump shot is good.
That kid's unbelievable. That's a tremendous player, this Cuzolito. Holy cow.
Cuzolito with just 4, but he's been phenomenal, as Scott mentioned, in other capacities. Ponders lead is down to 7, 4:11 remaining, 4th quarter.
So the Spy Ponders are going to try to get a good shot at the basket as they're good places man now.
Corner 3 for McNamara, around the rim and out. McGilvery fights the rebound. He comes up with it. He kicks it back out to McNamara. He takes a pull-up 3. Another one that goes around and out. Rebound fought for. McGilvery fights for it. Ball knocked loose. Swift saves it from going out of bounds to Corrales, and Arlington will reset the offense.
Spy Ponders want to win the game more. They're getting after the loose balls, beating them to races to every spot on the court. That's why they're up 7. But this is crunch time. You got to make the baskets now.
Great effort by Arlington on the board. McNamara switches to the left hand and he lays it up and in. 21 for the sophomore, and a timeout called by Arlington.
Brendan McNamara says, oh yeah, do you think you have a scholarship player on your side? Well, I'm a scholarship player on my side. 2 future possibly scholarship level players are showing their worth out there. I mean, McNamara has been so super sensational, it blows my mind. But the thing that's really kind of got me excited, does he look like his brother or what? He hasn't his whole career until now when you really see him kind of doing the same moves with the body language.
He has led the way for the Spy Ponds tonight with 21 points. We have 3:32 remaining in the 4th quarter. The winner goes on and plays the number 1 seed Belmont at Belmont on Friday, March 1st. That's a 7 o'clock game. We hope that it's going to be the Spy Ponders. The loser has their season come to an end.
So it's for Mike Kasprzak and his crew that when I said the Spy Ponders were kind of playing harder, that was a knock on the Melrose club.
Oh.
They're trying their best out there, but some people in special circumstances have elite effort, and that's what the Spy Ponders have shown. This is the last stand here for Melrose. They need baskets and stops, and they can't give up many mistakes on either end.
Saw that the Belmont varsity team is here in full, and I'm sure they would like to see Melrose pull this off. Ball's knocked out of bounds. Last touch by Melrose. Arlington ball.
Well, Belmont continues to be an eclectic team, as I wouldn't allow my team to sit in this environment. But it's just, anyway, on the task at hand, more hustle by the Spy Ponders, right? And now you see the ball kind of bouncing their way. 9-point lead, 3:24, and this is a tough spot for Melrose here because they're not an effective man-to-man defending team, and no one can defend McNamara.
49-40 Ponders coming up on three. Let's go. Gascoigne wide open, has an easy lay-in. What a beautiful play designed by the Arlington Spy Ponders to get James Gascoigne wide open for that easy layup.
What a conundrum here for Melrose. They can't guard these Arlington basketball players, but being down 11 with under 3 minutes, they have no choice.
Arlington with their largest lead of the game.
You know, Don, you kind of get the
James Gascoigne. Foul committed down low, away from the ball. It is on James, his 5th, resulting in a 1-on-1 situation for the Red Raiders and a disqualification for James Gascoigne. A tough way to foul out of a game with an off-ball foul.
You know, I think they were brimming with confidence. I know I was brimming with confidence here as the crowd really gives a hand to James for his outstanding effort and leadership displayed tonight and all season long.
This will be his final home game here at the Kozlowski Gymnasium. Spy Ponders, should they win in advance from here on in, will be on the road or neutral sites. So final home game really for all the Arlington seniors here tonight, as number 22 Vlakovic hits the first free throw.
So with 2:55 left, this is kind of hold it right there, folks. Don't go anywhere, right?
Definitely.
I'm kind of playing taps here on Melrose, but that's a double whammy here. You score on one end, and Gascoigne sitting on the bench and can't come back into the contest on the other.
But again, Melrose not doing the job in totality at the free throw line, as they hit just 1 of 2. Now Brendan McNamara is fouled in the backcourt, and now he will go to the line for a 1-on-1. And of course, this happens a lot of times in close basketball games. The fate of how close or how nerve-wracking this game is going to be will be Arlington's success at the free throw line in these 1-on-1 situations.
Yeah, well, again, we were comparing Brendan to his brother Colin, and his brother was no one was better at closing games out from the line than his brother. So you see Colin connecting there, but Brendan connecting there. Don, so what's the difference in the game, right? Free throws, shooting from the outside when you're wide open, winning a race to a loose ball. That's, it's so the difference is almost negligible.
23 for Brendan McNamara. The Ponders now extend the lead to 12, matching their large lead of the game.
They continue to pressure, which I don't know why they would do that, and that's why you don't want to do that, because A, you can give up quick looks like you did there, and B, you can foul. Those are the worst of both worlds. Clock stops 2:40.
Vlakovic with a strong move to the cup. McGilvery picks up the foul, his second, 8th on the team. Luka Vlakovic at the line for 2.
Vlakovic is a tough kid. He's also a lot quicker than I thought.
Hits the first free throw.
So they're kind of finding their stroke from the line now, but they got to find somebody to stay in front of McNamara. As tough and hard-working as Cusalito is, he's not up to the task, unfortunately.
This time Vlakovic does hit both free throws. He's now in double figures with 10.
Just dribble it.
Ponders up by 10. 2:34 remaining. Fourth quarter.
So now the task is to make sure you don't turn the ball over by being loose with the basketball.
15 on the shot clock. Arlington using a little bit of clock with this 10-point lead. 10 on the shot clock, and that's a tough foul there by Melrose. You play defense for 20 seconds. Arlington down to 9 seconds on the shot clock, and you commit a 1-on-1 foul. Jay Tucci, a tri-captain, you wouldn't expect that from him, and he commits it with 9 on the shot clock.
I think it was told to foul, which is a little bit odd, but I could have read that wrong, but who knows? But he definitely tried to do that. I mean, gosh, he played hard for 22 seconds. 8 more, and you got a victory on the possession.
McNamara hits the front end of the 1-1. Well, I could see maybe doing that to someone who you don't think is maybe a good free throw shooter on Arlington. Maybe if somebody that they've scouted that they say, okay, if so-and-so gets the ball, let's foul him and put him on the line. But with 9 seconds on the shot clock and Brendan McNamara at midcourt, you put Arlington's best free throw shooter at the line, you knocks them both down, and now you find yourself down by 10 again.
Yeah, I mean, Arlington's at 55. I'm going to say 58's it. You cannot give up 58. I don't think you can get to 58 points. So
great defense by Corrales.
Simmons
dumps it down low, and they're going to get Joshua on a reach and foul. And again, a foul that Arlington really doesn't want to commit there. Let Melrose use up some clock, let them earn it, and instead they'll go to the line for a 1-and-1.
And this is where philosophically maybe I kind of differ a little bit from Coach Bowler and Coach Woods, which I'm certain they've had more success at this level than I could ever imagine. But they don't really ever play much zone defense, and here zone defense might be effective because Melrose has not shown that they can shoot from the outside, and now you make them choose a choice. You can't dribble 1-on-5. So what are you going to do here? You're going to maybe hopefully fire up some misses. Keep that clock rolling.
Lakovic hit the first free throw. Nobody really went for the rebound. I believe it was still a 1-on-1 situation, but it doesn't matter as Luca knocks them both down. He has a dozen on the evening.
You got to get it come get it, McNamara.
Arlington again by 10. Melrose really hasn't been able to get it below 10 for quite some time.
Ball handling for the Spy Ponders has been outstanding and immaculate.
Under 2 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Now Corrales is fouled, and he will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
So what you saw right there for the young players watching, just sometimes you hear coaches yell, meet the ball, meet the ball. That's exactly what he did there. The pass was a little bit errant, and it was in between him and his defender, and so he met the ball, which means he went after it instead of letting it come to him. He let it come to him, and it could be deflected or even stolen.
Preziosa, picks up the foul, his fourth, so now 3 Melrose players with 4 personal fouls. Nick Corrales at the line for a 1-on-1. Both teams now with 9 team fouls, and Corrales calmly hits the front end.
Oh, wow, he looks confident, huh? I mean, this whole team down the stretch here with their ball handling and free throw shooting, they look very confident. That comes as no surprise of a team that's been this successful for especially at home for this long.
He hits them both. Nick Corrales, senior tri-captain, clutch at the line. The Ponders still play that 12-10 game. They get up by 12. Melrose gets 2 to get it to 10. Arlington gets 2 free throws, back up to 12, and Melrose really hasn't made up any ground in these last few minutes.
Yeah, you just don't want to give up. You don't want the clock to stop now. You can give that up. That's fine. As Kazmarek takes a timeout and cutting it to 10. Now 134 now. If you cannot turn the ball over, right, and you can keep effectively shooting free throws, it's almost impossible for Melrose. I said 58 was the number. I think they might be able to get to 57, maybe 56. It's 9, 3 threes, but I don't know what you think. Are you one of those numbers guys?
Well, I'm thinking, too, Melrose just used their final timeout, so they're not going to be able to stop the clock on made baskets, so that's going to hurt them.
Yep.
They used the timeout that we questioned in the third quarter.
You'd love to have it now.
Or actually, in the second quarter. That was in the first half.
Yeah.
They used 3 first-half timeouts. The second thing I'm thinking is, Arlington's done a great job at the line, so if they keep the ball in the hands of Nick Corrales and Brendan McNamara, they'll probably make the free throws. Also, key thing, both teams now in the double bonus. So Arlington really doesn't have to sweat out any front ends of 1-on-1s. So even if Arlington were to go to the line, as long as they get 1 out of 2 every time, the numbers are just not going to work out for Melrose, and I think Arlington's going to take this one home.
I agree, Don. Wonderful encapsulation of where we're at right now. And this is why I've been making this argument, in social circles of the basketball world for years. When you're at this point right now, 134 down 10, you can't foul. You need steals. If you're actually trying to win the game, don't foul, because fouling is going to assure you lose the game.
Well, I'll tell you another thing too, Scott, against Melrose is how many, if any, I can't really remember many three-pointers that they've hit. So they don't really have a three-point shooter like Belmont did in the final home game of the season that can knock down 3-4 threes in a matter of a couple of minutes. The inbound pass goes to Corrales. Goes right by his defender. Now he's going by all the defenders. And Arlington loses the ball out of bounds.
Well, that's the one thing you can't do right there is fumble the ball out of bounds. But players people make mistakes, and that's what happened right there. 129 10-point game. It's got to be 3-pointers or very, very quick 2s for Melrose.
Looking like man-to-man defense for the Spy Ponders in this final minute and a half.
McNamara denying 1 pass away, and I'll tell you, they play one way. Holy cow.
That was a tough entry pass for Vlahovic to handle. He was able to get to it, but then when he tried to save it, he ended up throwing it out of bounds. Now contact made, last touched by Melrose. Arlington ball with a $1.09 to go in the game.
And if you didn't learn the lesson once, you might learn it right there, as Corrales again met the ball and prevented a turnover.
Great hustle there by Cusolino. He knocks it off of McNamara. It'll be Melrose ball. Great defense there by Chris Cusolino.
And what does that remind you of? Remember that play down here in the same corner, same type of play? I believe it was New Mission, right? We had turnover. I had flashbacks there. What a game that was. About 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago they lost to New Mission. Minute 7 to go.
Yeah. No, they beat them.
Well,
anyway.
3-point shot, top of the key, no good. Melrose with the steal. Cusolino, that's an offensive foul. Great job by Brendan McNamara. He saw that Cusolino was going to go all the way to the basket. He got the position, took the charge, player control foul against Melrose, Arlington ball.
Cusolino was doing his best Franco Harris there as he put his shoulder down and tried to plow his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Unfortunately, he was on the basketball court and got called for an offensive foul. I mean, this Cusolino gives tremendous effort, and I think you see something like that, you kind of feel for a player like Cusolino. It's a player that he wears his heart on his sleeve. He's trying his best out there. He's maybe a little bit frustrated. He's losing a game, and as a junior, he's going to be back next year. But you don't want the season to end in this manner, and 55 seconds is kind of like a slow, painful end.
Arlington takes that timeout, their third. They have 2 remaining with 55.2 seconds to go. And the Belmont team,
seen enough.
Yeah, they decide they want to get an early jump on the traffic. They just played Arlington a couple of weeks ago. Arlington almost pulled off the upset. And I'm sure Belmont must be thinking about that at least a little bit. The game will be in their place. And that's a difficult place to play, Scott. I know you coached years ago here at Arlington, but that gym with the big, the white faraway backdrops, if I remember correctly, tough place for a visiting team to go in. I'll be curious to see if Coach Bowler has his team arrive a lot earlier and have his shooters take multiple shots to get used to that backdrop.
I think he will. I didn't enjoy playing there myself, but as we go along, baseball pass to Joshua.
Joshua had envisioned of putting an exclamation point on this game. Arlington set up that play on the out-of-bounds timeout. They went for the home run play. They didn't get it, and Joshua took 3 or 4 steps to try to throw that one down, and it all didn't go. And now there's a question about the clock.
Well, I'll tell you something here. Without speaking out of school, I can tell you there's a little bit of bad blood between these two clubs. They're not big supporters of each other, and when you see a play like that, you say to yourself, okay, we're going to make sure that we put an exclamation point on this win. And it's Joshua, he just forgot to dribble. God bless his heart, right?
Yeah, the play was there.
You got to dribble, son.
The play was there, but Joshua forgot the dribbling aspect of the finish. I'm not so sure he was going to throw that one down either, by the way, for the record.
Well, I'll tell you something.
Challenged. Melrose player came to challenge that at the end, too.
Yeah, Vukovic was going to dunk over his dead body.
So they put a couple seconds back onto the clock, and so now there are 53.3 seconds to go. Arlington by 10. Vlakovic to the basket, lays it in. Luka Vlakovic now with 14.
A little bit too little, too late here as Swift takes a timeout. Don, I mean, it's certainly the game isn't over. Anything can really happen in this amount of time, but you did the math. It's going to be difficult. But Don, I'll tell you, you see the player Joshua. Certainly he's doing nothing wrong, right? He was sent long, and what do you ask him to do? He's trying to put the ball in the basket the best way he knows how. But I've been around basketball enough to know that had exclamation point on it. We're gonna run a play for a nice exclamation point, and we hope that maybe players don't bump into each other, or maybe tempers flare here, because this has been a game that has demonstrated everything that I love about high school basketball: competitive fire, people making mistakes but not quitting, and I've just been really impressed with both clubs, but the Spy Ponders even more.
All right, let's see what Coach Bowler designs this time on the out-of-bounds play with 40.2 seconds to go. Swift had trouble getting in the last time, has trouble this time as well. Ball knocked out of bounds by Vlahovic.
See, this
It's
I
Arlington
confused.
ball.
Just everybody go deep, and all McNamara's got to do is put his hand up and run towards the. There we go, guys. Just get out.
So again, an issue with the clock because zero time went off the clock, and some time had to elapse with the little deflection, maybe a half a second or so. And Coach Bowler wants that time taken off. Actually, they put time back on.
I don't understand, but you know, Don, I've often thought that sometimes coaches outthink themselves in this situation here. If McNamara is faster than Cusolito, then just let him make a little quick cut.
Like that.
Yep. Oh, now is he quick.
Now McNamara able to chip a little time off the clock, and finally Cusolito catches up to him and commits the foul.
And this will be a game that you'll look in the box score after and say, Arlington, same old, same old. This isn't same old. This is an Arlington team that had been facing some struggles during the year, but they stayed together. They won the last game of the season, got a little momentum going into the postseason, came home and defended home court. So now you got a little momentum. And I'll tell you something, Di, when you were just explaining, I see those Belmont players coming here. And I know you've been around the game for a long time. You've seen a lot of teams. And this feel like, but Arlington's never won a state title, right? Doesn't it feel like maybe if they win the state title, it'll be in a year you didn't expect, right? Oh, Arlington, they won 3 or 4. Everybody forgets about Arlington. Next thing you look up, and, anything can happen if you believe. And if I'm Arlington, I'm going to try to make sure I believe.
McNamara hits both free throws. Tucci with the putback on the follow on the missed 3. Arlington trying to get it over the division line. And now foul committed by Melrose, and that'll be the 5th foul on junior tri-captain Luka Vlahovic. He fouls out with 16.6 seconds remaining, and he fouls out with 14 points, and he had himself a fine ball game here tonight. He'll be replaced by number 5, Charlie Borstel.
Yeah, Vukovic, tough kid, and this game was nip and tuck. It was a back and forth affair. Each team kind of taking control of the game a little bit, but then having to face the other team kind of come back in their face. I don't know how many score flips we had, at least 4 or 5, something along those lines. Yeah. But the game turned 34-34. Both teams were struggling to make baskets and shoot from the outside. McNamara got an open shot. He shot it with poise and confidence, buried it, followed that up with a coast-to-coast dynamic finish at the basket, and they were really off and running from there.
1 of 2 for Brendan McNamara. Ponders lead at 60-51 with 12 seconds to go. And now a blocking foul committed by Arlington, and that will result in 2 shots for Melrose.
Now, and you got 11.7 seconds left, and players are, still competing, and this is where I honestly, Don, I kind of hold my breath as a fan of high competitive spirit that stays with good sportsmanship, because not that any players could be at fault, but when the fouling at the end, as I said, I hold my breath, but I couldn't be more impressed with the Spy Ponders that you mentioned. You were the one that caught it. It's been their depth, right? I mentioned McNamara, but it hasn't just been McNamara. It's been Gascoigne. We certainly saw McGillivray chip in. We saw Joey Pazia play well, but certainly Will Clifford, the super sophomore, with the 2 big threes. Miles Hess, the crafty one, with the 2 big threes. It's just you go down the line. It's player after player after player. We did see Swift make plays. We saw Cherry Jr. make plays, and their depth really was the difference.
Spy Ponders can just dribble out these final few seconds, and they will win, and they will move on to the quarterfinals of the Division II North Tournament. Let's quickly run down the scoring summary for tonight's game. For Melrose, Chris Cusolito had 4 points. Jay Tucci had 10. Marino Prezioso had 4. Luka Vlahovic with 14. Brandon McSorley with 3. High point man for the Red Raiders, Holden Simmons with 16. For your Spy Ponders, Nick Corrales had 4. Miles Hess with those 2 big threes had 6 points. Stephen McGillivray with 2. Sam Swift with 3. Jelani Joshua, unbelievable off the bench tonight with 10. James Gascoigne, quiet night offensively for the senior tri-captain, finishes with 7. High point man for the Spy Ponders, and the player of the game tonight, Brendan McNamara, who finishes with 28 points.
And Don, I'm going to give my Bing Bang Boom Award to a player from both teams. I just thought Cusalito demonstrated the type of effort that you like to see in a championship tournament. And then certainly I feel terrible that I used the name wrong. But Miles Hess, the crafty one, the lefty, hitting the 2 big threes, showing poise, confidence, and playing effectively on both ends of the floor. I thought those two players kind of made the difference. And when I said at the onset of this game that Melrose kind of had a chip on their shoulder. They kind of wanted to take what Arlington got, and I said, to win 52 in a row, you got to win one, and they just weren't able to get that done. But future's bright for them too.
The final score here from the Kozlowski Gymnasium: Arlington 60, Melrose 51. Stay tuned for our post-game show.
My name is Max Luca, and if you're interested in pursuing a career in sports media, come on down to Studio B at 892 Mass Ave in Arlington.
And we're back. Welcome to the post-game show. I'm Scott Zwick. I'm here alongside the player of the game, Brendan McNamara. 28 big points in the opening round of the MIAA basketball tournament. And Brendan, you've had quite a few days here. Over the weekend, we saw your brother hit a game-winning shot at MIT, and then tonight you were super and sensational. Tell us what a whirlwind tour it's been.
We had a little February tournament. We had a couple games and had one bad loss. Then we got bounced back with a win, and that was the end of the season. Didn't really kick into tournament mode quite yet. And then that Thursday night, my brother played MIT, huge game winner, and Coach Buller was there. And I looked at him after the game. I was like, it's tourney mode. And we had some good practices, and we've got it going. And it was after watching my brother, I felt like there was big atmosphere there, and there was big atmosphere here, and felt like I was built for it, and thought I tried to help my team win, and everyone else played well too. So good win, and keep it going.
Of course, and so tonight, it was a hot gym, a difficult atmosphere to play as energetic the crowd was. In the second half, both teams were struggling. You hit the big three-pointer down here and followed up with a coast-to-coast. Before you took that shot, how was your confidence level like?
I knew anytime I shoot, I think it's going in, and I kind of, we broke out quick in the second half, got up 7, and then our offense kind of stalled, and I wasn't that involved. I kind of just was deferring a little bit, and I was like, we're not losing this game. 2, I got to be more aggressive. Coach Buller and Jackie were telling me, and I looked for my shot a little bit, and I'm confident I can create and make plays for myself and others. So kind of just kicked it in gear and didn't want to go down with the loss at home. So.
And the rest was history as you pulled away with a big win at home. Now, I'm not sure if you saw it, but the Belmont, the entire team came out to watch. What are you thinking when you see your next opponent, the game's winding out, and they're leaving the gym?
Yeah, no, they were here early. It was funny because we were out here early, and they all came in as a team at 30 minutes early. So, I know. We're all looking forward to this game Friday. We won it. They won the league, but it don't mean a thing if we beat them the tournament. So I know they wanted to see the game, who they'll play, but we won all of that, so that don't really mean that much to us.
All right, well, congratulations on a big first opening round win, a sensational and outstanding performance tonight, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Yes,
all right, we'll be back right after this.
You are watching ACMi Sports, where the community covers Arlington. Where would you rather be than right here and right now?
And we're back. I'm here with the real man, Jelani Joshua. Big win tonight. The gym, we were noticing, comment throughout the broadcast, that it was really hot in the gym. Could you feel that? Did it affect your play at all tonight?
Yes, I could definitely feel the heat, but I don't know. I feel like when I get sweaty in the warm-ups, it makes me feel a lot looser in the game, so yeah. Yeah,
we certainly got loose. You started out strong, the typical success that you have near the basket, putbacks, rebounds, things like that. But then you struggled for a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what your mindset is like when you are struggling and how you have confidence you're going to come out of it.
Well, my mindset when I'm struggling, especially in a really heated game like this, I just think about this is my senior year. This is it. It's either now or never. So I just put my all on the court and make sure I leave everything there because I don't want to go home.
No, you don't, and you're certainly not going home because a big win tonight, okay, against a strong league team that you're familiar with. Now, and you move on to another Middlesex League team. Tell me a little bit about what, facing Belmont again. This is they're the champions of the league. What are the things you're looking to accomplish in that game?
Honestly, I just want us as a team to come together. That's the only way we're gonna win. That's all I'm thinking about as a team. You're
kind of a consummate team player. When you're struggling, do you what does it feel like, when people continue to pump you up and give you confidence when you're not having the success that you like?
I love it because it makes me feel like they want me, they want me to do something. They need me to make a big play. So I love that energy.
And we saw, we were talking right before we came on the air here, and and when you keep trying, eventually it comes back around, right? Absolutely. So, congratulations on a big win out here tonight. Good luck in the Belmont game. We look forward to talking to you in the future, all right?
Thank you.
All right. And we'll be back right after this. Bing, bang, boom.
And our final guest here on the post-game show is, of course, Coach Bowler. Coach, congratulations on this first-round victory.
Thank you. It's always nice to get a win and keep your season going. We're very happy with the outcome.
Well, I guess the first person I want to talk about would be Brendan McNamara, 28 points on the night. None bigger than that little 5-point run he went on by himself there. Score was 34-34. He hit the three-pointer with about 30 seconds left in the third quarter. Looked like Melrose might hold for a final shot. They didn't. They lost the ball out of bounds with about 6 seconds to go, and then he went the length of the court in about 2.2 seconds and gave you guys a 5-point lead going into the fourth quarter. Talk about his overall play and particularly that 5-point stretch.
Yeah, it was a big stretch. It gave us, a little cushion going into the fourth. No one puts more time and effort into their craft of playing basketball as Brendan. He works, year round. He does a great job, and it shows on the court tonight. He steps up in big games. He stepped up huge last year in the Brighton game, making big shots as a freshman, and he's only got better and better. He's definitely one of the best players around. He was named Middlesex League All-Star as a sophomore, which doesn't happen a lot. You put the work in, and good things happen.
In a night where James Gascoigne kind of struggled offensively, at least point-wise, and of course he does other great things for your team as well, but I thought the bench came through big time for you tonight. Jelani Joshua, 10 points, and Miles Hess with those 2 big threes. Talk about your bench tonight.
Yeah, I thought Jelani gave us a great lift. He's aggressive. He was all over the glass tonight. Which we'll need that on Friday. Tonight Melrose has a ton of height. Belmont doesn't, so we'll need that same effort from them because I think our bigs are going to be a huge part of the game plan on Friday. And Miles came off the last game. He hit 4 threes in the Pope John game when they were playing zone and gave us a big lift there. He just has a great shot, great form, and he's not afraid to take it.
So your end of season featured a couple of tough games. You lost 4 in a row probably for the first time in a long time, but they were against very difficult competition. But then you won that final game to improve your record to 12-8, maybe give you a little bit momentum going into this game. And, of course, by having that record, getting this game at home tonight as opposed to a road game, again, the Arlington community was here in full force as well.
Yeah, it was great. We talked about it, going to that Pope John game, that if we lost, we were going to go be at North Andover in the first round. And, North Andover is the North champs repeating North champs, and they play in a tough league. That's why they're the 7th seed. So, it's we wanted to get a home game for these seniors. We have 8 seniors. We wanted to get another chance to play at home because we knew, home game of the tournament, we're going to, have our fans are going to be great. Students, people from the community. Did a great job of helping us out tonight. It was great atmosphere, and they helped us pull it through.
Final home game for those 8 seniors regardless, so good luck to them. But they will play another game against Belmont on Friday. Your thoughts about that game?
Yeah, I thought, we, first time we played them, we lost by 26. Second time, we lost by 4 here, and I thought, they're one of their players who's MVP of the league had 18 points in the fourth quarter. They made some big shots, but we were right there. So after that game, I told them that we're going to play them again. I think we've combined to win the last 5 league titles. We know those kids. We're not afraid to go in there and play. I think it's where we want to be. Going in playing a number 1 seed on a Friday night. Versus our rival in the league. We're excited.
Good luck on Friday night. I hope the season gets extended.
Thank you.
Well, that will wrap things up here tonight. I'd like to thank our ACMi crew, Alex Van Thong, Kevin Wetmore were our producers. Sam Staiti was our director. Paul Carosi and Bianca Zwick were our camera people. Spy Ponders win tonight. They win the first round game. The number 8 seed advances. They now move on to play Belmont, the number 1 seed. That game will be Friday night at Belmont High School at 7 o'clock. For my partner Scott Zwick, one more time, the final score here from the Kozlowski Gymnasium, Arlington 60 and Melrose 51.